Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Gun Rights Policy Conference and our session on using new media to advance gun rights. I, along with my fellow panelists, wish that we could all be together in person in Orlando, but events have come together to conspire against us, and this is what we're going to be doing here remotely, but technology is wonderful and it's bringing us together, and it cannot stop this wonderful conference from taking place, no matter how much the anti-gun lobby would like to see us just wither away and die, right? All right, so let's talk about using new media. As you know, if you've been watching this or been attending the conference for a number of years, as we've talked about this topic, things tend to kind of morph. They move back and they move forward. Technology comes along and creates new opportunities. Sometimes things that were not quite in vogue a couple of years ago comes right back again. But let's go over some of these things, okay? Most of you I know are using Facebook probably. Whether or not it's to get news, whether or not it's just to post news, whether or not it is to share pictures and other things with friends and relatives. But Facebook is a very powerful tool and one that should be a part of everyone's arsenal in using to try to advance gun rights, because you can create a group, create a page, and create that to discuss the issues on guns and why it is safe and why it is proper to own firearms, right? It takes a little bit of time sometimes to build up an audience for this, but you're going to be perfectly fine. In time, it will work. In time, you can have potential influence, right? Okay, what about Twitter? Twitter is a very powerful tool. Twitter is also, in my opinion, something that is a bit of a rabbit hole in some ways. Can be a toxic stew for a lot of us. You can easily get into Twitter battles, Twitter wars with people that you do not know, and you can go right down the drain with that. You need to be careful when you're using Twitter. Twitter, one of the great advantages of Twitter is because of its real, true, instantaneous nature. While Facebook also, you post and it's live. When you go on Twitter, because of the way the nature of that program works, that platform works, is that your tweet will be seen by lots of people and will be shared by lots of people depending upon what you're saying, right? Every average day tweet about your life is not going to really go that far. But if you're going to throw out things on firearms, guns, gun sales, whatever you want, the politics of guns, those types of things, you will get, some extra mileage out of that as people share, respond, and whatever. My warning to you in using Twitter is to be very careful when you use Twitter in terms of engaging with those you do not know, which is probably going to be the vast majority of people out there, and watch out how you conduct yourself, because it is, once again, it is very easy to get into a Twitter war that you're going to find yourself in kind of a morass that you don't really want to get into. Stay above the fray, whether or not it's Facebook or Twitter, stay above the fray, be reasonable, be authoritative, be informed, just give them the facts. One of the things I've always said for years and years is that one of the great advantages that we have as conservatives, as firearm owners, as firearm proponents, gun proponents, is that we are armed with the facts, right? We have the facts. The other side has nothing but a lot of conjecture, hyperbole, and a lot of false statements that they will tend to make over time as they try to shape the narrative on guns. YouTube, I think, when it comes to things that you're doing, and just I'll just say this with Facebook, and even I guess on Twitter too, is that never forget the video component of these platforms. Facebook allows you to post live videos. I would do it. If you've got to, set up your own show, do it. Or just go ahead and do a 5-minute little broadcast, go live and talk to your heart's content about why you're a proud gun owner or why this or that, relating to guns. You'll be just fine with that. That'll work very, very well. YouTube, you can do the same thing. You can go live on YouTube, or you can just record and then upload, edit, and then do that all later on. Parler has come into the conversation. Parler is fine, but it is the echo chamber, right? You're going to preach to the choir. The idea here when you're using social media is to not preach to the choir, but it is to preach to those that don't know any better, right? And to spread the word about guns and the good side of guns, right? So that's what you need to do. Now, podcasts, thanks to COVID-19, have exploded. We have some great people around here, the Polite Society podcast, Riding Shotgun with Charlie, and you can go on and on and on. Fantastic podcast. Now is the hour. Now is the time. And podcasts don't have to be the audio recording version, right? You can do the video too. You can do video and audio. There's many opportunities to do this. Spotify offers basically an app, Anchor, that they bought that allows you to do a podcast off your phone, record it, edit it, and then post it up. And you can get it onto Spotify and Apple Podcasts and those types of things very easily, very readily. So I encourage you to do something like that. You can use Instagram for pictures. Pictures, they say pictures are worth 1,000 words. Definitely. People love that. Okay. So use all of these resources as much as you can. You will be able to advance gun rights like you never thought you could before as a result of this. And then finally, what are we using today? All right. Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Hangouts. Fabulous, fabulous way. A new opportunity, something that was out there, but we really weren't taking advantage of in the I'll say the leisure side of the business kind of a thing here. Businesses were using a lot of these services to conduct meetings, but a lot of us were not doing that. Now this has become part and parcel of our lives, whether or not it's a work meeting or a family meeting. But use it. You can create a great following, and you can create great meetings and events using these platforms. So I encourage you to do that at all opportunities. Once again, thank you for joining me today. I'm hoping you have a great conference. Enjoy the other panelists and the other sessions. And above all else, stay safe, stay well. God bless America. And I'll see you at the next Gun Rights Policy Conference in 2021.